Welcome to Prime 9, the countdown show that covers the very best in baseball, guaranteed to start arguments, not end them. This week, we spotlight the top 9 home runs in the history of the game. Why 9? That's baseball. 9 players, 9 innings. Prime 9. When Reggie Jackson socked his 3rd home run deep into the night in the '77 World Series, it instantly became a part of baseball lore. Well, guess what? Mr. October did not make the Prime 9, and neither did Mr. November.
A game-winning walk-off home run, Mr. November!
Not even the reigning home run king made the list.
756! Bonds is on top of the all-time home run list.
In judging the top 9 home runs of all time, we looked at the situation, the outcome,
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
the dramatic implications of the blast, and its place in baseball history. They say that timing is everything in life.
Michael Jack Schmidt with number 501 spot.
And the same holds true for baseball. Don't agree?
Oh!
Well, that's what makes Prime 9 so much fun. It's the ultimate water cooler show, because everyone has their own opinion, and we've got ours.
Big Poppy, nice home run yesterday.
So here we go, the top 9 home runs of all time, starting with number 9 on Prime 9. The year was 1976. The New York Yankees had not been to the World Series in more than a decade, but one swing of the bat was about to bring down the house.
We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. This game is for the American League Championship.
It was slipping away. The fans needed a hero.
The thing about that moment was we had that 3-run lead. George Brett hits this home run off of Grant Jackson that ties it up, and it gets to that moment where I come up.
All right, it's Chris Chambliss now. Who steps up as the crowd comes alive here. And I'm sure a lot of folks holding their breath.
And I stood up to the plate, and he threw the first pitch, and it was a high fastball, and I just swung.
Delivers high drive into right center field. That's gone. It is.
We knew it was a Bobby Thompson moment. It won the pennant.
Chris Chambliss has won the American League pennant for the New York Yankees.
And of course, the famous run around the bases. It's amazing he survived it at all.
Chambliss is being tackled.
When I hit second base, there's like people all over the place. I tripped, and the only thing I could think of is that what if I was on the ground and there's all these thousands of people on top of me and I can't breathe?
Look at the mob, Chris Chambliss.
Third base was just a mountain of people. I went around those folks, and then I took a beeline straight to our dugout.
What a way for the American League season to end.
Everybody's asking the same question, did you touch home plate? And I said it was impossible to do that. And what we did, and this is a true story, I took 2 cops with me and made our way through that crowd. And home plate was gone, of course, but I did put my foot on that area.
The Yankees did the pennant. The Yankees did the pennant.
Same stadium, nearly 3 decades later. The pennant once again was on the line. But this time it was a Game 7 bolt out of the blue that ruined Boston's date with destiny.
The Red Sox 5 defensive outs away from heading to the World Series.
First of all, to get to extra innings in that particular ball game with Pedro on the mound. We managed to come back on him, and now here we are in the extra innings.
The American League pennant at stake.
And here's Aaron Boone coming up to the plate.
Normally the starting third baseman, Boone wasn't accustomed to pinch hitting. Now he was facing knuckleballer Tim Wakefield, the possible series MVP.
Joe had said, hey, just think back through the middle.
I just happened to say to him, I said, just get a single.
Doesn't mean you won't hit a home run.
It doesn't mean you won't hit a home run.
I said, you know what, just get a good pitch to hit. And I did.
Aaron Boone to lead off. His first at-bat of the game. There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone has hit a home run.
First pitch, he gets a knuckleball, and all of a sudden, the prettiest sight you ever want to see. You see the ball go up into the air, it was the greatest feeling I could ever have, especially in that tense of battle in Game 7, Championship Series, 2003. All of a sudden, you know, we're heading to another World Series.
The Yankees go to the World Series for the 39th time in their remarkable history.
Aaron Boone hit the first pitch of the inning, just like Chris Chambliss in 1976. It was perfect. It was just unbelievable.
Like Derek told me, the ghosts will show up eventually, and they did, man. This is stupid. Sometimes you fail, sometimes you succeed, and to have a small place in the history of that stadium is something that I'll get to, I guess, tell my grandkids about someday.
Welcome back to Prime 9, featuring the greatest home runs in baseball history. You've seen the 9th and 8th best. Now it's time for number 7.
A hero to Red Sox fans for his dramatic home run in the 1975 World Series. Carlton Fisk.
The Red Sox hadn't won the Fall Classic since 1918. They were decided underdogs when they faced the powerful Big Red Machine in '75.
That series might have been, from beginning to end, as intense a series as there ever was.
I'm telling you, the man interfered with that man on play.
That World Series, believe it or not, that had a Super Bowl flavor, because when we went to Boston, we had 3 or 4 days rained out. When you have a World Series, there's 1,000 reporters at the event. Everyone in the country realized what we were doing and who it was that was doing it because of all the press.
But could the series live up to the hype once play resumed? Game 6 answered that with a battle for the ages.
Deep center field, way back, we're tied up.
After Bernie Carbo set the stage with his dramatic 8th inning blast, the game went into extra innings where the spotlight fell on Fisk.
Pudge and I were standing in the on-deck circle in the 12th inning. Seemed like I was about 2 in the morning. And he says, I'm going to get on and you knock me in. Well, he forgot about the part of me knocking him in.
There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run.
Fisk comes up and just hits a ball that just looks like it's going to go foul. And he's waiting.
If you remember how he was waving the ball fair, I think I was doing the same thing on the third base side as Carlton Fisk was doing on the first base side.
And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there.
This particular moment just happens to be one of the most dramatic, memorable single swings in the World Series.
If it stays fair, home run!
It is something that means a lot to a lot of people.
The greatest home run hitter of all time, Babe Ruth, was a magical name.
An almost mythical figure who outslugged entire teams. One of Babe's home runs has become legendary.
I will say that I've had thrills before. Something like hitting a home run in Chicago that time. The Lord was with me when I called the shot.
The Babe's called shot took place in the 1932 World Series, and some bad blood between his Yankees and the Cubs is what led to his memorable blast.
Yankees win the first 2 games of the series at Yankee Stadium. Now they go to Chicago for Game 3. Up steps Ruth, and Cubs are jabbering from the dugout.
There was plenty of invective hurled at Ruth, and some of it unmentionable to this day.
And so the Yankees and Cubs were riding back and forth. Ruth is talking back.
Well, at this one particular time when I went to bat, Charlie Ruth was pitching. The boys over there would give me this, on you. And I looked down at center field and I implored him. I said, I'm going to hit the next pitch ball right past the flagpole. Well, the good Lord must have been with him.
Ruth's infamous gesture is baseball's version of the Loch Ness Monster. Did anyone really see it? Did it really happen? Is he, in fact, calling his shot?
There are people there who said he did not point to center field.
Gabby Hartnett, the Cubs Hall of Fame catcher who was in the game at the time, always denied that Ruth was pointing to the center field fence, as the pitcher did, Charlie Root, who swore that he would have knocked the Babe on his butt had Ruth showed him up like that.
It's clear Ruth is pointing to somebody and saying something. This may be confirmed by the actions that Ruth took while he was running around the bases, where he was engaging in a pushing motion with his hands to indicate that he had put one over on the Cubs. Ruth, not only a showman, but also a great self-promoter, picked up on it, ran with it, and with a wink, made the story a staple for the rest of his life.
We now return to Prime 9, where we've got the greatest home runs of all time. Chris Chambliss and Aaron Boone checked in at 9 and 8, respectively, followed by Carlton Fisk and the Babe. Now things get really hard, beginning with number 5.
How would Henry Aaron describe Henry Aaron's 715th home run?
He delivered a swing, a long drive, way back, way back, way back. It's gone!
Before Hank Aaron got to revel in his record-breaking moment, he had to endure the task of chasing a legend.
The greatest home run hitter of all time, Babe Ruth, was a magical name.
And to some, the thought of Hank eclipsing the Babe was blasphemy.
Aaron knew that a lot of people didn't want him to pass Babe Ruth's hallowed record because Ruth was an icon, and here is Aaron about to shatter the icon.
It bothered me at the time, to think that somebody could sit down and write vicious letters to someone. I just kind of erased it a little bit.
It helped him focus. Some people, if you mess with them, they'll roll over and die and quit. But there are other people, if you mess with them, you just make them stronger. And that's how Hank was.
Henry Aaron has just tied Babe Ruth in the all-time home run parade.
Hank did, of course, prevail, and his long journey reached its conclusion in Atlanta against pitcher Al Downing, who had a unique perspective on this historic moment.
Okay, Henry's coming to the plate. Now, how am I going to proceed to pitch to him?
And here is Henry Aaron. This crowd is up all around.
I remember it was a cold night, cold freezer. And he says, hey, man, I'm tired of this. I'm going to get this over with. I said, hey, man, go ahead, do what you got to do, because I don't doubt anything that you tell me.
He's sitting on 714. Here's the pitch by Downing. There's a drive into left center field.
I just remember pointing over the fence. It's gone. It's over the fence.
That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
Did he really do that? 7:15? That was the unreachable number.
The record that they set in our lifetime could never be broken has, in fact, been broken.
And as the cheers rained down upon him, Hank looked back from whence he came.
I just thank God it's all over with. Thank you very much.
Well, I thought about you come a long ways, baby. From Mobile, Alabama, all the way to breaking one of the most prestigious records in baseball.
Henry Aaron, the home run king of all time.
I feel very proud of myself.
The 1988 World Series between the Dodgers and the A's was likened to the tale of David versus Goliath. But Game 1 of that series leaned more towards the classic film The Natural, thanks to LA's MVP and team leader, Kirk Gibson.
I had a torn semimembranosus hamstring tendon in my left leg, and I had a strained medial collateral ligament in my right leg, and it was an ugly, ugly feeling.
Vin Scully, who knows the Dodgers well because he's their announcer during the regular season, he's also doing the game on NBC TV. He flatly states that Gibson is not available.
The man who was the spearhead of the Dodger offense throughout the year will not see any action tonight for sure.
Gibson, having heard Vin Scully say that he's not available, says to Lasorda, well, he thinks he has one good swing in him.
I said, great. I just ran out. I didn't give him time to say anything else for fear that he might change his mind.
And look who's coming up.
Gibson walks up there knowing that he wants to hit a home run.
So the Dodgers trying to catch lightning right now.
I had programmed myself to say when you walk out of the dugout, 50,000 people are going to go nuts, and you won't hurt.
All year long, they looked to him to light the fire until he was physically unable to start tonight.
He needed a long time to get there, so it was driving me nuts. It's like, get this guy up here. Let's get this thing over with.
And with 2 out, you talk about a roll of the dice. This is it.
And I got up 0-2 on him in a heartbeat because he couldn't catch up with the fastball.
But with a full count, Gibson guessed on a pitch that he could catch up to.
Before the 3-2 pitch, I stepped out of the box and said to myself, partner, sure as I'm standing here breathing, you're going to throw me that 3-2 backdoor slider, aren't you?
And Eckersley does throw the backdoor slider, and Gibson takes a swing, which I still cannot believe would even have produced a medium fly ball.
High fly ball into right field.
He must have just got it right on the sweet spot, and it's gone.
She is gone!
Vin Scully says,
In a year that has been so improbable,
the impossible has happened, and that's just how it felt.
Gibson's improbable blast inspired the Dodgers to win 3 more games and capture the Fall Classic. 5 years later, and for just the second time ever, a home run ended the World Series.
6-5 Philadelphia in the bottom of the 9th.
Roger Mason had thrown the 8th inning, gotten through the 8th inning, and I got called to come in the 9th.
Jim Fregosi will give the ball to Mitch Williams to try to get the final 3 outs and force a Game 7.
Mitch was a great competitor. He wanted the ball when the game was on the line.
And he also had a tendency to make those situations quite interesting.
Williams walks Henderson on 4 pitches to open the 9th.
Ricky has a long at bat and gets on base, and I get a base hit to center. And as a base runner on first, you know, I'm the winning run in that situation.
The run that would win the World Series is at first, and Joe Carter is the batter.
I was excited. I was happy to be in that moment because it seems like every time the game was on the line, I was up in that position.
Now the 2-2. Well hit down the left field line. Way back and gone.
When I saw the ball clear the left field wall, I'm sitting there going, this can't be for real.
Joe Carter with a 3-run homer. The winners and still world champions, the Toronto Blue Jays.
And if you're growing up, you obviously want to be the guy that hits a home run in the 9th innings and win your team the World Series. And for Joe, a dream came true for him.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
And I jumped on home plate and I just let it go. And with everybody on top of me, it was great.
Welcome back to Prime 9, where we're showcasing the greatest home runs in the history of baseball. Chris Chambliss kicked it off at number 9, followed by Aaron Boone and Carlton Fisk. And with his called shot at number 6 is the Babe. Hank Aaron hit the 5th greatest home run ever, followed by Kirk Gibson. And with the number 3 spot now owned by Joe Carter, it brings us to the final 2. In the 1960 World Series, the mighty Yankees outscored Pittsburgh 46-17 through the first 6 games. Yet somehow the Pirates forced a Game 7. There, with the score tied in the 9th, an unlikely hero would earn his place in baseball lore.
Bill Mazeroski will lead off in the last of the 9th.
You know, all I'm thinking about walking up to the plate was, I got to hit the ball hard somewhere. I got to get something started.
Ralph Terry doing the pitching for New York.
They knew I was a high fastball hitter, so I heard Blanchard yell out, get the ball down.
Terry, very cautious, takes a lot of time getting the signal.
Everybody says to me, they say, hey, Blanche, what pitch did you call? I said, the wrong one.
Here comes the pitch.
Here's a swing and a high fly ball going deep to left, and they do it.
And I just put the mitt up and closed my eyes because I knew it was downtown.
It is home run, the Pirates win.
I dreamed about hitting a home run like that.
It is all over in one of the most dramatic finishes on history.
And when I hit second base, I don't think I touched the ground till I got home.
The Pirates are the world champions of 1960 on Billy Mazeroski's home run.
And the only thing going through my mind is we beat them, we beat them. We beat the great Yankees, we beat them.
You could employ a lot of script writers and pay a lot of money, but try and write a better finish to a ball game or a more exciting one.
Which brings us to the greatest home run ever. One that took place during baseball's golden age, with the Giants-Dodgers rivalry at a fever pitch. And it was never hotter than in the sizzling summer of '51.
Leo DeRocher's miracle team spotted the Dodgers a 13-game advantage in mid-August and overtook them at the finish line.
The Giants' amazing comeback forced a 3-game playoff for the pennant, and the Dodgers were just 3 outs from victory when the Giants staged still another miraculous rally.
The Giants, trailing 4-1 into the bottom of the 9th, quickly score a run. Chuck Dressen pulls Newcomb. They bring in Branca.
Ralph Branca comes on the scene with 1 giant run across and 2 on base.
I came in the ball game and told Newcomb he did a heck of a job, and said I'll get him for you.
2 runners on base, 1 out. The Giants trailing 4-2. Bobby Thompson up.
I knew the position I was in. I'm telling myself, get up there, do a good job, wait and watch. Now DeRocher, coaching at third, came up to me and he said, Bobby, if you ever hit one now. And I thought, Leo, you're crazy. You're out of your mind.
1 out, last of the 9th, Brooklyn leads at 4-2.
I want to get ahead of him, so I just threw a fastball right through the middle. The next one, I was trying to throw a fastball up and in. I was trying to really set him up to throw him a breaking ball. And I remember just getting a glimpse of it. I remember heading to home plate, and I took one last sleep. That's about the most hot dogging I've ever done.
When Bobby hit the home run, I was the last guy to get to home plate, and I'm on deck. If you look at a film, you don't see me right away. You see me a little late on down the line.
A stunning 3-run homer for Bobby Thompson that echoes around the world.
That is the most famous home run, justifiably, in the history of baseball.
A home run that will live on forever, thanks to 6 simple words.
Shot heard around the world.
Shot heard around the world.
You said that nicely.
One parting shot before we end. Bobby Thompson's earth-rattling home run off Branca earned a nickname that has stood the test of time. But did you know that he also hit one off Ralph in Game 1 of that 3-game playoff? Of our 9 greatest home runs in baseball history, 4 of them ended World Series games.
I don't believe what I just saw!
There have been 14 game-ending World Series home runs in all, the last by Scott Pasetnik in 2005.
He won it! What a way to end it!
And it's also time to end the show. Thanks for watching. That's our Prime 9. What's yours?